In 2021, due to the pandemic, the Thai king and his entire harem had to stay in Thailand, but the king had long been restless. By the end of 2021, he secretly returned to his happy second home in Bavaria, Germany, where he began a routine of living lavishly in Germany, occasionally returning to Thailand to attend public ceremonies. By the end of the year, he had already made several trips back and forth. Usually, he would return to Thailand for 1 or 2 days during major holidays, attend the ceremonies, and leave without staying a minute longer. The routine was that he would depart from Germany, pass through Switzerland to pick up his lonely queen, Suthida, and then the couple would head back to Thailand together. However, their schedule in Thailand was delayed for a while, causing their originally planned departure dates of January 7th and 8th to be pushed to the end of the month. It's unclear whether the Thai king is still in Thailand, but one thing is certain: if he is still there, he must be longing to return, as if Thailand is not his home, and Germany is. So, when did he start developing such a strong affection for Bavaria, Germany? It all goes back several decades, when the late king was still on the throne and the current king was just the crown prince. Although he was only in his 20s at the time, he had already gained a notorious reputation across Thailand, despised by nearly everyone. You might not believe it, but even the pro-monarchy elites strongly opposed him. One reason, of course, was that he was nothing more than a useless piece of muck that couldn't be salvaged. The second reason was his shocking lustfulness. He used his position to almost do whatever he wanted, frequently forcing his way into the homes of the elite to seize their daughters. British journalist Andrew Marshall, who is familiar with the Thai royal family, wrote in his report, Vajiralongkorn became infamous for frequently summoning charming young women from noble families to his palace, and refusal could lead to terrifying consequences. Many upper-class families had no choice but to send their daughters abroad for education to escape his attention. On one hand, there was the tyrannical, debauched Thai king, and on the other, there was the graceful, accomplished Princess Sirindhorn. Anyone with common sense would know who to choose. As a result, for decades, the pro-monarchy elites have allowed the public to openly criticize the king while praising Princess Sirindhorn, hoping that the late king would change the law to allow her to ascend the throne. But there was a major caveat: at the time, as crown prince, he had no male heirs because he had sent the 4 sons from his second wife abroad, never to be seen again. His position as crown prince was shaky, and you can imagine how desperate he must have been. Desperate, the Thai king and his third wife, Srirasmi, tried in vitro fertilization multiple times, and finally, in 2005, they had a new male heir, Prince Dipankorn. Now, it was the elite's turn to panic. As the late king's health continued to decline, the elites grew increasingly desperate. In the end, they made their final, fatal move. They leaked a video of Princess Srirasmi in the nude. It was the infamous video of her kneeling naked, celebrating a dog's birthday with the king. This was not just about undermining Srirasmi. The ultimate target of the attack was still the king. However, the king was not a complete fool. Realizing that there was a force deliberately plotting to prevent his ascension, he made a decision: he would leave Thailand and settle abroad, returning to Thailand only a few times a year to attend important events and ceremonies. Why would the crown prince, of all people, want to flee? Here are a few reasons speculated by the public. 1. He was afraid, believing the risk of assassination was higher in Thailand, whereas living abroad would be safer. 2. He contracted HIV and thought European doctors could cure him. 3. He had grown tired of his third wife, Srirasmi, and was captivated by Thai Airways stewardess Suthida, wanting to live freely with her abroad. 4. Living abroad allowed him to indulge without restraint, indulging in his various fetishes, such as wearing cropped tank tops. In any case, for all the reasons mentioned above, in June 2007, he flew to Europe to search for a place to settle, eventually choosing the Kempinski Hotel near Munich Airport in Germany. He stayed there with Suthida and his beloved dog, accompanied by about 80 staff members, and permanently rented the entire top floor of the hotel. Why this hotel? Because the Thai king was one of the hotel's most important shareholders, the management had no choice but to tolerate it no matter what he did there. For the next 5 years, the Thai king lived abroad, indulging in a life of luxury. His daily routine revolved around two things: women and flying. He would either be with his harem or flying around in his private jet. Meanwhile, the pro-monarchy elites in Thailand, who wished he would drop dead immediately, were still plotting to remove him from power. They stirred up Queen Sirikit, who had supported the king for decades, encouraging her to take on a regency after the late king's death, likely hoping she would emulate Empress Dowager Cixi. As a woman with a strong desire for control who had spent her entire life navigating the palace intrigues, Queen Sirikit couldn't resist this temptation. Part of the reason may have been that her useless son, the king, had disappointed her too many times. Gradually, the bond between mother and son began to fray. However, before the queen and the elites could make any major moves, on July 21, 2012, Queen Sirikit suffered a stroke. She would never fully recover and would live the rest of her life with severe physical impairments. From then on, Queen Sirikit withdrew from the game, and the late king, being too old and conservative, firmly refused to depose the crown prince. The pro-monarchy faction could only sink deeper into despair with each failed attempt. The Thai king, however, believed that with both of his parents aging, no one could control him anymore. He became even more indulgent and daring. When he met another destined royal consort, Seninat, the two quickly became inseparable, with their behavior becoming increasingly unrestrained. Seninat sent the Thai king explicit selfies, and the king shared his lesser-known fetishes with her. They continued their affair for 2 years, during which Suthida's position as the first lover was increasingly threatened by Seninat, and the palace rivalry between the two was on the verge of erupting. A former employee of the Kempinski Hotel, when interviewed, said every time he arrived at the hotel, tons of suitcases would be delivered. If one mistress and another mistress were both present, they would have to rearrange several floors. There was a reason Seninat quickly rose to power. She was extremely skilled at flattering and accommodating the king. No matter how outrageous his ideas were, she would always express support and even help him realize them. For example, she helped him build a large harem. Starting in 2014, young women with the royal surname Sirivajirabhakti began appearing on social media. Almost all of them had ultra-short hair and, like Seninat, wore a small silver heart-shaped pendant. A journalist once complained, "Most of the women in the harem look almost identical. Why does the Thai king keep so many when it's so hard to tell them apart?" These women were all recruited with Seninat's help, and in a way, Seninat was the madam of the harem. Some of these girls joined voluntarily, hoping to rise to the top, while others were forced to join, fearing the terrifying consequences of rejection. They all held official military ranks, and through royal military promotion announcements, at least 32 women in the harem have been confirmed. They are also referred to as sex soldiers. An image of the Thai king's harem has been circulating online, with the first row showing the king's 4 wives and his royal consort Seninat. The 17 women in the row beneath are not the entire harem. According to British journalists, the woman in the third position of the third row, Nawawan, was expelled from the palace for drug-related issues. With so many new lovers, the old ones started to become an eyesore. And, as the saying goes, 2 tigers can't share one mountain. Seninat and Suthida living together was an endless battlefield. So, in 2015, the Thai king bought 2 large villas in Germany, one for his son, Dipankorn, to live in, and the other was too small for him. He ended up renting an entire 4-star luxury hotel, where he and Seninat, along with his harem, could live in indulgence. Suthida was sent to another hotel in Switzerland, leaving Germany only for him and his harem. The entire top floor of the hotel was reserved for him and his consorts, with a special suite for group activities in his harem, which he called the entertainment room. This happy time came to an end on October 13, 2016, when the late king passed away. You might think that, after finally ascending to the throne and becoming the ruler of millions, he must have relished the feeling of holding such power. He preferred to indulge himself in Germany. Thailand, for him, meant restraint and danger. So, when he had to return to Thailand from Bavaria, he told the ruling generals that he wasn't ready to take on the role of king yet and planned to go back to Germany for a few weeks. But the Thai king was no ordinary man. After vacationing in Germany for 2 months, he finally returned to Thailand to ascend the throne, only to deliver a thunderous message to Thai officials. He still intended to spend most of his time in Germany. The chaos in the years following his ascension is somewhat known to the public. In terms of his harem, he made Suthida his queen and elevated Seninat to the rare position of royal consort, treating her like a treasure. But in a fit of rage, he cast her into the cold palace. Then, during the pandemic, Seninat mysteriously returned to the palace in glory and is now firmly established as royal consort again. This has led to escalating family conflicts within the palace, especially during the pandemic when the entire family was living together in the Thai royal palace. The rival factions of Suthida and Seninat engaged in open and covert power struggles, even manipulating their respective fan accounts on social media to attack each other. The infighting within the harem is another matter. According to insiders, the palace is filled with a toxic atmosphere, constantly embroiled in dramatic events and backstabbing. An increasing number of absurd rumors have caused the Thai people's reverence for the monarchy to collapse. Not only that, anger toward the Thai king for his debauchery, tyranny, and autocratic rule has grown, with opposition voices rising to such a level that it has shaken the royal family. The Thai king is scared. He only stays in Thailand for short visits, largely out of fear of being assassinated, and when attending public ceremonies, he often wears a bulletproof vest under his uniform. This fear also drove him to start transferring large amounts of wealth and his dogs to Germany beginning in 2021. But even with all this fear, he refused to heed the advice of most senior advisors to be a competent monarch. He just wanted to quickly return to Bavaria, send Suthida back to Switzerland, and his daughters back to Paris. This way, he could better manage the conflicts within his family and harem, and he would be safer in Germany. The Thai king, now repeatedly delayed in staying in Thailand, still longs for his joyful homeland in Bavaria. However, it is important to note that the rising public sentiment in Thailand will not just fade away, it may even intensify. It seems that the fear the king has of being deposed is becoming more and more imminent. Whether his concerns will become a reality, we can only wait and see.